today my Comanche shirt. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about it.
Good shirt to bring out.
I was always supposed to get a new one, and I never did. I blame Kenny Reed.
Good shirt to
I
bring
said,
out.
yo, the first game we played this year, I said, Monk, bring me a. Can I buy a shirt off Monk every year? I'm like, yo, bring me a shirt. I need this size. He's like, I don't got that size. He's like, I do got a 5X. I'm like, what the fuck? Whatever. Just bring it.
All
He's
right.
like, he goes, I won't even charge you for it. I'm like, Monk, I hate you sometimes. I really do.
All right, let's get into it. We're gonna do our little whole shebang here. Gonna do a couple interviews for Media Week. Getting started. It is Wednesday, I believe. I don't even know what day it is.
It is Wednesday.
So, first off, you guys start off with introducing yourself, what positions you play.
All right, well, I'll start. Jericho Berger, play center.
Joe Munipo, I play tight end.
Chase Shredder, I play guard. Right guard.
Kyle Hinson, left guard.
All right, so let's start this off first. Tell everybody a little bit about yourselves, how you got involved with the GEFA. Kyle, you want to start first with this one, since I think you have the most experience out of everybody.
I came into the GEFA on the Comanches in 2017. I used to be 100 pounds lighter then. Used to play D line with Tyler Dieter, and then eventually Monk was trying to get the aggression out of me. But when you see me on offense, he just said, "Listen, you're either going to stick the guard or you're not starting for the team." So been with Monk ever since then, and been busting my ass ever since. Chief has been a great place. Has up and downs sometimes, but overall, people come together.
Joe?
So I heard about the GFA when I was working back up in Scranton with Ray Dominguez. He told me that he was playing the league and told me to come out for the team. I got to play 2 years under Sim, well, 1.5 years under Coach Sim. And after that, I was living down in Mechanicsburg and was traveling back home to play with the Shock. And instead, after the drive was a little bit too much, switched over to the Comanche. And ever since being with the Comanche now, this is the fourth year with them. I played every single position of the offensive line and now full-time tight end.
Jericho?
So I got my first start. I actually met Chris Dyer and Kevin Klein. They were both owners of the Savages back in the day, and that was right around 2020. So when COVID happened after that, I had built a relationship with them. They recruited me for the offensive line. I stuck out a season with them, and then after they ended up folding, Monk ended up recruiting me to come back to the Comanche, and that was probably one of the closest teams next to me. And ever since then, I just built a bond with a lot of the guys, along with coaches, and I believe I found a home there. This is entering my third year there, and I think I've been playing well there ever since.
Chase?
This is my second year in GFA. I actually got introduced to the GFA by TJ. I met him at a bar one day randomly, and he told me that he was playing football still, and I wasn't at the time. So he told me to come check it out, and I've been hooping ever since.
TJ is such a weird cat.
We love TJ though. Don't be like that.
Why you say that?
TJ's always been weird. Like, as long as I've known him, he's been weird as all hell. All right, so obviously, Joe, you said why you chose the Comanche. Kyle, you're like a lifer for the Comanche. Uh, Jericho Chase. Obviously, you guys were with other teams in previous years. What made you guys come over to the Comanche?
I'll start that one off. So like I said, my team ended up folding 2 games into the season of I think that was 2022, and I still wanted to play. There were a couple teams that recruited me closer to my area. Wilkes-Barre was one of them, the Warriors at the time, but the Comanche reached out, and I felt that that was a pretty good place, along with some of the guys that I was playing with at the time. Carl Kreidler, as an example, Abdul Murphy, Kasim, he was back there, that I had built really good relationships with. Ended up traveling down to there. So I ended up just picking up a habit with them, and after that first year that I had built relationships with, I thought this is what football's all about. Monk built something special down there, and I think from the ground up. And a lot of the guys on the team were built, you know, building a community, and I wanted to be a part of that. I felt like that's something that I didn't really have with the Savages. So I'm forever thankful that not that the team ended up folding and how things went down, but I am thankful that it opened up new avenues for me.
So me, all right. So when I first
Billy,
came
you're
into
What?
when I first came into the league, didn't tell you, I promised them 1 year. I was new to the GFA. I wasn't too sure how or what if I was going to still be playing football after. I wasn't too sure. So after in our off season, I bumped heads with a couple of the players. So and I felt the not to need to prove myself to those individuals. And then after playing in the All Star game, picking Monk's head apart a little bit and seeing what kind of person and kind of coach he was, he welcomed me to the Comanche. Slid.
Billy, you have any questions so far?
Yeah, whenever you're ready to get right into it. I mean, anyone that knows football knows that games are won in the trenches, and you brought. I don't think there's any question in anybody's mind. Um, not all of, but some of the members of the best offensive line in the GFA this year. So I'd like all is just to give some input. Jericho, what does it mean to you to have Chase at right guard, to your right, and then you go to the left, you got Kyle. Yeah, I know Jared and Tyler have also played O-line, but you have to have a different level of confidence when you know that this dude over here got my back type thing. So just shed some light on that for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely means a lot. It makes my job a hell of a lot easier being in the middle of those two, or anyone that I've played around with. But for me, I think it's more than just the talent level that these guys possess. We really do come together just like as a unit. And I think that, whether it's 11 man or 8 man, the offensive line along with tight ends are the largest unit on the field. And Joe being a tight end, he's just an extension of us. And I think that we really come together and have bonded, and on the field, off the field, we're together, we're united as one. And like I said, I think that makes it a hell of a lot easier to play alongside of guys that um, have are mission oriented, all towards the same goal, and that's definitely something that we are.
Joe, you want to touch on that? Because I
Yeah,
mean, you've played O-line before. You're a full-time tight end now, but you've played in the trenches, so you know what it's about. So just talk about that for me.
yeah. I mean, with this offense, everything makes it extremely easy for when we have the guys up front around me. Any kind of traps, pulls I'm going around, it's super simple for me to get through. So it's really a blessing to have, people that I know is going to be driving, another one off the ball 2 yards before I even get moving. So anytime you have that, your offense is going to go strong. It's going to go far. And I think we proved that all season long with the rushing attack and, offense as a whole.
Yeah, and I would even like to add to that. I mean, the offensive line is just a piece of the puzzle. I think that as a team, as an offensive unit, we've really gelled together this past year. From offensive line to tight end to wide receiver, running back, quarterback, we're all on the same page and we all have one mission. And I mean, that's to score on every possession that we have. And, I think just looking at the stats, we're doing pretty well for ourselves. We've all bonded together and, are building towards one team goal, and that's hopefully to win this championship come Saturday.
And I'd like to add to that too. It's very refreshing to be able to play next to someone that knows what they're doing, that knows their assignment, and you don't got to worry about your job and their job if they're blocking the person because you know that people next to you are just as good.
Kyle.
From being on day one, from the Comanche, the continuity that we always bring up, we always bring up stuff about the trenches of everything wins on the trenches, whether uh, for as long as we had before these guys came up, we had guys like JJ and JJ Custer and Joey Pauline that were really good guys, but we've always come together no matter what. And then when they walked away, I was sitting there like, what to do, what's going on. Then Joe came along, Jericho, Milk was around to help out as well. Naming some guys that have just been here for over the course of Comanche that don't get the recognition that they deserve sometimes. And having now these guys are just straight up elite. I don't have to worry about whether they're going to miss a block or not. I know they're going to be there for their assignments. It's just a blessing to have these guys around.
Chase, you want to add anything else?
Nope, I already jumped in there before Kyle.
All right, no doubt.
All right, Kyle. Like you said, you've been here since at least 2017. You've seen a lot of different offensive linemen come through, especially with this Comanche team. How do these guys compare, and where would you rank them compared to the other offensive linemen that you've been a part of?
I love every single offensive lineman that has come through here in the Comanche. But if I had to rank it, this is the best offensive line that the Comanche has ever had or has ever fielded on a football field. The amount of like assignments and holes that we open up is you'll never see it in, any other year in Comanche, I believe.
Who would you guys say would be your toughest competition this year as far as defensive line?
I think every team really, at least posed a threat. Had guys that we need to scheme for or draw up against. When I think you're as effective as we have been, teams are trying to find ways to stop it. So, whether it's with four down linemen, five in the box, six in the box at times, everyone's trying to scheme against us, but. I think each team posed its own threat, whether it was running or passing the ball against us. So I wouldn't want to ever single out some individuals like that because I think every team, had the plays and the awareness to know what we were capable of, and we were just blessed enough to be able to figure them out.
I'm gonna keep it a bean, Jericho. That's why I love you. He's a nice guy on the team, but personally, and I know the guys feel the same way. I don't think there is a D line that posed a threat more than the schemes that they were scheming up, if that makes sense. So their schemes and their stunts were more of a threat than the actual people lined up across from us. Like every week I've played, I lined up across from whoever I lined up across from. It wasn't no factor like I had to put my hand in the ground extra hard to move this guy, if that makes sense. And I'm sure guys
chicken.
All right.
but I'm sure the other guys can agree. Like there wasn't a time where like we had to change what we were doing because someone was kicking our ass.
Yeah, I will say too, there were some guys that I'm upset that we didn't get to play against. or multiple times.
Like
For example, the Vikings came to our place,
Yep.
and it was a shame that some of their guys, primarily defensive linemen or linebackers, weren't able to make that game because I always felt that they always gave us pretty good battles up front. Jimmy Werner, Eisenmuth, they both weren't. They were both absent for that game. And I know it's a next man up mentality, but it was a shame not being able to play against those guys this year. And I hope they're doing well for themselves because I haven't seen them, and probably won't until the All-Star game. But you know, uh, just a shame that some guys were, having great seasons and that we weren't able to show the dominance that I think we've been portraying, and prove to everyone in the league that it doesn't matter who lines up against us, that we're going to go out and we're going to execute.
yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
I
Go
was
ahead.
very disappointed. I was very disappointed that I couldn't get my occasional week of CTE from Azimuth every week or Timmy Warner that week. I was hoping they show up, but if I'm gonna answer this question, there like kind of like what Jericho's saying, like every team has had their fair share of like whether they're putting five in the box, six in the box, and trying to scheme up against us. But if I had to be honest and give my personal opinion from everybody who I went up against so far, for like power move or somebody who's just like a very aggressive off the ball type guy, I would have to say I would give 52 from the Tomahawk some credit. He had a really good bull rush. I wish he'd have a little bit more finesse, but he was really good. He was really good at the bull rush this year. And other than that, the biggest competition is the people who are going up against this weekend with Jimmy Buck, AB, and Huckleberry. Those guys, we gotta bring it.
Now, I know Chase has only been in here 2 years. Joe, you've been around. Kyle, you've been around. Jericho, you've been around. Who's your all-time favorite defender to go against?
I only been here in 2 years, but I'm gonna have to say Carl. I love that kid. Carl, he don't play no more, but boy, that was a battle when I was on the Mustangs.
I
I
mean, for
definitely would.
me, go ahead.
Go, Jericho. You got Jericho.
All right. I was gonna say for me, week in and week out, I always got to go against Tyler Dieter in practice. That was always a fun matchup. Some of the Comanche guys that I got to go against and grow with. But if we're talking opposition, one guy that always stood out to me was Jimmy Werner. I felt like we always gave each other pretty good battles. He got the best of me, and I like to think I got the best of him. And yeah, he was always some guy that we were always going at each other. Always brought the best out of each other for sure.
One person I'd say that was definitely fun going up against was Roger Jane. Got to play him when I was on the Shock, in big games. Got to play with the Comanche when we were in big games. So he was always someone. And then always appreciated going against the Vikings with Sheldon and Zach Hoy. I always thought they had a great linebacking combo. There's one spot in the league I feel is not the best position group as a whole, linebackers, and those two were elite linebackers day in and day out. So they were always fun to go against and just scheme because the game inside the game, those were two people that were certainly on top of it.
That's a hard question because I've went against um a lot of the guys in the league. You can go from Fenderson, you can go from Roger Jane, you can go from Buck, you can go from any of those guys that have been in this league for the longest time. Mario Lucian, honestly, was probably one of my favorite battles to go against. Sometimes he'd rotate the nose guard, he'd rotate out, he'd be able to play anywhere. I always love the battles against Izema. Again, I was looking forward to that one.
My favorite story about a defensive lineman, uh, Joe. I think you were still with me with the Shock in 2020. We were playing Diamondbacks week 1, August 1st. I'll never forget
Oh
it.
yeah.
And freaking Kreidler. Full gear does a stand-up backflip. And I go to Joe and Aquil and all that stuff. I'm like, good fucking luck.
Yeah, that was my very first. That was the day after my COVID wedding because that whole thing happened, and it was 90 some plus degrees out. And the very first play, Carl literally ran through me at playing center and knocked Dre in the backfield, almost forced a fumble on the first play. And Vinny looked over at me like, "Gonna have to switch something up. That's not gonna work." And yeah, so yeah, I remember that very clearly.
As soon as I saw him do that stand-up backflip in full gear, I'm like, this ain't even right.
Yeah, he's actually I would like to add Carl is one of the dudes that he is the guy as to why I was brought onto the Comanche. He great player, but an even better person. He's really a stand-up guy, and I appreciate everything about that man. He's one of one for sure.
Billy, what other questions you have?
So being that you are trench guys, once you get in the flow of the game and you kind of see how the D line attacks, you want the coach to call a toss my way or a pull here or pull there. Do you guys ever get mad at Monk's play calling? Like not mad that you're ready to fight,
100%.
but you do?
100%.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, no,
Every
Monk.
night,
It's more so-
It's not his fault though, because he has LA in his ear. It's not his fault.
Okay, it's more so of the question of why are we running the football?
LA,
Yeah.
LA
There's
Monk's here,
go ahead, Chase.
so when we have some pass plays, it's because of that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of, I think every offensive lineman wants to run the freaking ball. I mean, 4 downs, get me 10 yards. We can do that for you. But I do understand, that you want to keep defenses honest and you want to get people outside of the box. So I do want, but, Monk and I, we don't always see eye to eye, but I mean, I think that's what makes us great. We see each other at different places and we can meet each other in the middle and, we come to a compromise and but in the heat of battle, you want what you want. And that's to run the damn ball. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean that's kind of what I expected. You guys do the dirty work and the trench guys don't always get the credit. I feel like the biggest adjustment, and it's not even an on-field adjustment that I've seen from the Comanche this season, is they're actually like paying tribute to the dirty work that you guys are doing. Other teams don't do that. They don't really shed light on it. Do you like Jericho, Joe? Do you guys feel the difference? Kyle, from last year to this year, do you feel like you guys are getting more credit now or no?
I would say so. It's kind of hard not to. When last year offensively wasn't the best that we could have been. I think I don't know what the difference is in points scored last year compared to this year, but it's definitely significant. So I just think it's just another year into the system, another year just coming together and becoming more efficient. In 8-man, one person screws up, it screws the whole play up. 11-man, you can kind of hide some people. So if something's missed on a play, whether it's from offensive line or anywhere else on the field, it could screw things up. So I definitely think that this year it's flowing much more efficiently.
Nice. I got one more question, James, and then I think I'm good. I want everybody in here, minus James, to answer this one. Who is more deadly out of the backfield? The running back crew that you have, or London with everything that he does on the football field?
Pick your poison.
I was gonna say, anyone I think running behind this offensive line is gonna be successful.
I agree. I agree to that. Like, I don't necessarily think it matters at this. Not taking nothing away from the runners that we have on our team, but at this point, bro, I think anyone that can carry a football behind our line is gonna score.
Yeah,
James
one of
Sarson
our
could get a
I'm pretty sure. I'm
50-yard
pretty sure. I'm
touchdown.
pretty sure all the linemen but myself got a touchdown carrying the ball. So that just shows you anybody could do it.
and all of our skill guys in the backfield that are touching the ball all have just great skill sets that complement each other, which is always going to make things easier. Always staying balanced with that. So that's a huge plus from them.
I had to do my journalism duties and try to get you to sway one way or the other.
Nope.
You guys didn't. I didn't expect it. I tried. But no, I mean, I appreciate you guys giving the input. But like I said, James, that's all I got.
Jericho, when did you get to the Comanche?
I believe it was so the year the Savages folded, I believe was 2022. 2 games in, I was joined by the Comanche. My first game with them was the Vikings week 3 against them. And after that, I was out for the first half, and then I was put in at left tackle or left guard, and I found a home on the offensive line ever since.
Now, is this going to be your second Keystone Bowl?
No, this one will be my first. Comanche ended up making it. I believe it was in 2020 or 2021. Then the following year is when I believe that's how it would have worked. The following year is when the Savages ended up
All right,
disengaging.
so 23 then, the Savages.
Okay, so then that would have been the year. But yeah, this is my second full year with the Comanche, and then the 8 games, 9 games that I played with them
Right.
prior.
All right, so since this is your first Keystone Bowl, tell me some of the emotions you're feeling right now, knowing that all the work you put into this league and all the shit you've gone through, and now you're here.
I mean, it means the world to me, man. I try and stay humble within the week here. I try and I'm a very live in the moment person, but come Friday night into Saturday, it's gonna be go time, sitting here talking about it, it's giving me chills, all the hard work that we've gone through, with the guys that I've been with and throughout the couple of years that I've been with the Comanche. I want to experience it with them. I want to be able to raise my hands with these guys, saying that we did it, we finished the job, and um, it'll mean the world to me hopefully when we get that ring on our finger.
Chase, what about you?
Um, to me, bro, it's just another game. For me, we played them twice already. It's just another game. I mean, it's a bigger atmosphere. It's more fans. But to me, it's just a game. Only thing that matters is us. I and another thing I'll add to this, like this is my first championship playing. This would be my first championship I played in the GFA. But I've won my last 3 championships I played in college. I played in a couple championships, so like the atmosphere, to me, it's just another football game. You know what I mean? Like, wake up Saturday, get the game early, do pregame, what we do, and go out and run the ball. It's the same shit that we've been doing since we were kids.
Early to pregame, I like that, Chase.
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be there at like 2 o'clock. I'm
I'm hoping so. Ski
That's
mask,
wild.
shiesty
Ski
on,
mask and
shirt
no
off,
shirt.
baby.
Ski mask and no shirt. And I'm bringing the black Air Forces out of retirement.
Oh baby, oh baby.
Joe, what about you? This is your second, right?
Yes. I said, kind of paying off what Jericho said. I said this earlier in the week, just talking to the guys, this trying to stay more in the moment, don't take it for granted. When we got there a few years back, I felt very confident, that we'd be there again. Obviously, humble myself a little bit. We didn't get there as quickly as I anticipated, but back here now. So just taking in the moments, enjoying everything that it's worth, just being, blessed to be able to continue to play football. So, and, going out and just have another good game against another really talented team that been nice to play some talented teams this year. So very excited.
Kyle, this is your fourth one, right?
This is my fourth.
What makes this one so different?
This one, I've been reflecting on a lot of wins and losses.
I mean, it's okay
Um,
if you do. This is
nah, this for me, for me, this one, Joe, Monk, and Tyler dragged me back. This one's it. This one's it for me. It's been a long 8 to 9 seasons, and I want to end it with a win.
It's definitely your last season.
Yeah, that is it.
Way to make that moment about yourself.
Seriously. Motherfucker, you don't gotta be crying now. Who's
Look at
cutting
him,
onions
you
over
know.
here?
This might
There is something else I wanted to
this journalism might get me a Pulitzer.
there is something else I wanted to add about the whole emotion. I've been sharing it with the guys, throughout the week and even all season for real. Like, yeah, it's just another football game to me. But at the end of the game, I hope, what I'm saying, I hope that we do come away with the ring, because I did promise my father before he died. That was the whole point of the Mustang guys sliding with me to Comanche. We promised my pops the ring, so that's gonna be weighing on me heavy that day. I can promise you that.
Jericho, with this being your first, has there been a lot of guys trying to give you like advice on like what to expect going into this game, and who are some of those guys that have been giving you advice into this?
Just some of the guys that have been there, Kyle, Joe, some of the Comanche guys that have been there before, and like Joe had, just to reiterate on him, just kind of taking it for the moment, and like I said, I'm a very live in the moment type of person, and I think just following the advice of guys like them hasn't steered me wrong yet. I think I've put myself in a pretty good situation, along with the team to, go out there Saturday and just be as successful as we possibly can. And, at the end of the day, just hope that our score is larger than the Legends.
Where'd Billy go? I think Chase made him cry.
He's still in there. It says
Look
he tried wiping his tears. Let me stop.
at him. All right, so with you guys all coming together for the Comanche and all that stuff, what do you think this does for Monk's legacy? This is like his sixth or seventh attempt at a Keystone Bowl, either as a player or as a coach. Uh, what do you think this will mean for Monk's legacy?
If we win,
Yeah.
it'll prove that he's one
Well,
of
I'm
the
not
best.
asking you guys what will happen if you guys lose. Like it's
I think it will prove something that we already been talking about. He'll be one of the best coaches to ever be in a GFA.
I think it'll prove to other people that he's the best coach in the GFA.
Correct.
People that have been here, people that understand, people that know. Like, no one prepares like Monk. No one brings guys together like Monk. So, he's definitely gonna this should definitely just lock in everything that everyone's ever, thought about. They may say other things on the outside. So this would definitely be perfect for him if we, once we hopefully capitalize on this.
Kyle, what would you say? You've been with him the longest out of here.
This means everything. This will prove that Monk is honestly the best coach in the G, from the best coach that I have ever had. Put so much time and effort to just come up short for the last 3 times. It it can't happen again. It won't happen again.
Yeah, I think Monk already built a legacy of, being a great person, a great coach. But, as a person, I think he's even better. Um, he's able to, I think what makes a great coach is not just what you can do with the X's and O's, but what you can do with your players and, maximize their potential. And this year in particular, from what I've seen, he's been doing that, to the best of his ability. And you're seeing that, between the offense and defense, special teams, coaches along the way, he demands excellence from every single one of us, including himself, and it starts from the top, and he sets a great precedent for that.
Billy, did you think of any other questions?
Yeah. So I know the response I'm going to get based off of how the questions and answers are going. Outside of doing your jobs, what do you think it's going to take to be victorious Saturday night at the championship game?
Discipline.
Like,
We have to be disciplined.
It's going to come down to who makes less mistakes and who has more penalties.
Yeah, it's going to be straight discipline.
We know we everybody knows where the talent's at. Only everybody. I don't know if I cut out. Everyone knows where the talent's at, bro. It's going to come down to who can execute, who can execute those X's and O's and not catch penalties while doing it.
On top of the fact that, we're also going up against Greg Medina and that offense, we've seen it for a decade plus, what he's capable of, what the entire offense is capable of around him, plenty of guys, Tavares, Trey, offensive line, like Nyhart. I think Nyhart is one of the best receivers in the league. No one talks about it with these top 5 lists. But nonetheless, that's definitely, slowing them down. And then obviously on our side, taking care of business, not just us up front, the whole rest of the other people on the field as well.
Yeah, we're two heavyweights just throwing punches for the last 2 games, and one thing that's gonna have to take place is what's gonna be that final knockout blow. Something's got to give, whether it's a big touchdown, whether it's a turnover, whether it's a penalty, something along the lines. But we're just in it to control what we can control and you know do what we can, and hopefully the results sway in our way. Because like I said, we're just 2 big teams. We're 2 of the best teams, in the league right now. That's why we're at where we're at. So just coming together and staying disciplined, staying true to ourselves, and once the clock's hit 0, hopefully we emerge victorious.
And there's something else I want to add too. Nothing, not taking nothing away from the vets, from the legends that won rings and that have been winning rings, but it's going to come down to whose why is bigger, who wants it more. And I think Comanche team might be a more hungry team.
Yeah. So as an offense, I'm sure we'll have another discussion if you just haven't already had it. As an offense, do you feel that there's a number that you need to put on the scoreboard to make sure you are victorious? Do you have a number in mind? Jericho touched on, hey, we want to score on every possession naturally. But do you feel like, hey, if we get our defense this number of points, we're winning?
I'll be honest. As long as it's bigger than the Legends, I don't care what the score is, man.
Y'all
That's the best. That's the best answer I can give.
Shit, dude. I respect it.
Media train, baby.
I gotta try.
Billy, I've lost playoff games 2-0. The score don't matter. You know what I'm saying? As long as we are the winning team, it don't matter. We can win 7-0 for all I care.
Like I said, control what we can control and just hope that, the ball's in our court that day. Because like I said, we're 2 heavyweights swinging at each other all the damn time, and one of us got to give. And I'm just hoping that it's not us.
Yeah. So my last question, James, I promise. If the Comanche win the game on Saturday and are the GEFA champs, because there's a well, okay, I can't say that, right? But if the Comanche win, you have Monk, you have Kyle, who's been there, you have Country has been there, you have Dieter, who's been there. I'm sure Kenny Reed will be there. You have all these guys. Who's leaving the field with the championship trophy?
I think we all know the answer to that.
Our dad.
You know, I'm sure Monk booked, I'm sure Monk booked a hotel with us, and he probably booked 2 beds, just for one for the trophy and one for himself. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Definitely.
100% Monk.
All right. What player does he hand it off to first?
I think he's handing that bitch off to
Hey, I don't know if
Andy
anyone's
Luck.
touching it. Actually,
We're gonna have to
Yeah.
pry that
He's
out
like
of him.
kicking right to the car.
He's gonna be in every single
I
picture.
I
I can
know.
guarantee that.
I can give you I can give you a hint of who he's going to hand that to. It's going to be the best defensive player, yes, he's had over the course of his start for the Comanche.
Okay.
I can see that.
Yeah.
All right.
But I could also see him taking pictures and letting other people hold it too.
Yo, FYI, if I see Monk take a selfie with the trophy and pull some Thor shit, I'm gonna lose respect for that, man. Just throwing it out there.
I don't even know what Thor did.
Oh, it was bad.
Can't hate on anyone for celebrating. Celebrate how
No.
you want. You never know if you're getting back.
Yeah, no, you
Always
can't.
celebrate it.
But yeah, no, that's all I got, guys. Safe travels on the way there. Best of luck Saturday. I'll be there, so I'll see you guys. You're under the big lights of the GEFA. Enjoy it, live it up. Kyle, it's been a hell of a career. Best of luck Saturday, fellas.
Appreciate it, Billy. Hope to see you in that 5X.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all
All
having
right,
us.
guys. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you got to pull up on that 5X.
Yeah. I'll have it. Don't
5X is
worry.
crazy.
Good.
All right,
All
guys.
right,
Go
later,
get some
fellas.
shirts on.
Later, fellas.
All right. Have a good one, guys.